So the Witcher Netflix showrunner was over on Twitter and she decided to do a short little Q&A and she was responding to all sorts of tweets over here. Lots of questions have been answered. We've got a very good indication of some of the things that her and the writers are thinking about season 2 and also maybe season 3 of the show going forwards. And I will probably make more videos just going over some of these other answers that she's given because there is a lot of stuff to talk about here. But for me, the most important thing, the thing that stood out the most, was something to do with Emhyr. So, full spoilers ahead, folks, if you haven't watched season 2 of the show, if you haven't finished it, and maybe also minor spoilers for the books as well. But if you have a look here, Lauren had started this thread by saying, let's talk about Eskel, but someone responded by saying, please stick to the books. Sapkowski is a better writer than all of you combined. If you want to create drama or something, use your own original characters. Don't twist book characters for your lack of imagination. Don't ruin the most important plots in the books. That Emhyr reveal. And then Lauren goes on and says, shall we talk about Emhyr next? Because that one is a much shorter thread. And then this guy again responded, let's talk about that reveal and how it will affect a huge part of the story, especially about false Ciri. Right, and so this is making me think, because my biggest criticism with the last season, actually, and with the final episode, was about how they handled Emhyr. I really thought they ruined that twist, and it's not that I had an issue with them revealing it, and we're about to get to that and what Lauren said here as a response, but my issue wasn't that they revealed who Emhyr was, because in the books, it's not until Lady of the Lake, the final book, where Emhyr's identity is actually revealed, and we find out he's actually Duny, he's actually Ciri's dad. And he actually wants Geralt dead. He wants Geralt to basically off himself to keep that secret. Because Emhyr doesn't want Ciri to know that secret. He doesn't want anyone to know the secret. He wants everyone to die that knows the secret. He wants the secret to die off because he has this whole plan. And his whole plan is that he wants to impregnate Ciri. He wants to impregnate her. He wants to have her child because that child is then going to go on to rule the world or whatever. There's this whole prophecy. And obviously, if that secret was known, the people would revolt. The people would not stand for that. They would not worship a man. They would not obey a man who's going to do that. There would be an uprising. That just wouldn't happen. And I mean, just imagine, there's so many little bits that just wouldn't go very well if people knew that. So that's one thing. There's also a plot this guy just mentioned about false Ciri, and that's basically when basically a false Ciri is given to Emhyr after some people fail to capture Ciri at a certain event in the books. And basically they don't want to show that they were a failure, and so they actually give him a false Ciri, but he actually knows secretly, he doesn't let them know, but he knows that this is the false Ciri, and so there's a whole plot with that as well. And that's actually what leads on to the bulk of the rest of the books, because Geralt believes after Ciri goes missing, he believes that she's actually with Emhyr. He believes that Emhyr has her, and he has to go and save her. But it's actually the false Ciri that Emhyr has, and so Geralt and his friends, they all basically set off on an adventure to go save Ciri when it's not actually even Ciri, it's the false Ciri. And that's kind of the whole setup for the rest of the books. And so in the show, when they reveal, okay, this is Emhyr, they reveal his face, okay, it's fine to do that if the audience sees that, like showing, okay, we see his face when he's sitting on his own, or we see him talking to himself, or maybe someone who would have been in on the secret, like spoiler alert, Vilgefortz, someone like that who maybe knows who he is. But there's a bit of an issue with what they've done now, because they didn't do that. They didn't just reveal his face to the audience. They revealed him to the characters in the show. That he was in the throne room, filled with guards. There must have been hundreds of guards there. And also Fringilla and Cahir. And he says, my daughter. He reveals who he is. He reveals that Ciri is his daughter. And so for me, that is the issue, because I understand that it's impractical to maybe have him in a mask or in a helmet, or not show his face all the season. Like, obviously, it's not practical. It works in a book, but it doesn't work in that. So I understand there's a change there, and so I understand making the reveal earlier. But to reveal him to everyone in that room, for him to out himself like that, made no sense. It doesn't stick true to the character. It doesn't stick true to the character motivations. None of it makes any sense. And that was why I was upset with this. But Lauren has now gone into this thread, and we're about to move on to it, and she has really gone and confused me. I have no idea what this woman is talking about, because, right, let me just read it. So this guy mentioned about especially false Ciri. And then down here, Lauren says, if we kept his identity a secret, we'd have no scenes with him in future episodes, unless he was wearing a mask or helmet, which is silly. Or if we recast, what person looks completely different 14 years older? Revealing him to the audience, but not our characters, was the lesser evil. What? And also, I assure you, false Seri can still happen, seeing as she's called false Seri in the books. Readers aren't supposed to believe she's the real one. Viewers can have the same experience. And yeah, my reaction here is just what this guy says. Revealing him to the audience, but not our characters, was the lesser evil. That throne room was packed with people, though. The word would no doubt spread like wildfire. Why not just reveal him to the audience without him saying it out loud? That is my exact thought. I'm so confused now with what Lauren has said here. Like, my big issue here was the fact that he outed himself. He said, my daughter. If he hadn't said that line and he had just, like, say, oh, you guys have failed me yet again, whatever. Okay, end it. Reveal his face. Okay, the viewers now know. But the my daughter part, for one, it just felt really off to me. I thought it was actually a bit cringy, but it ruined that character for me. It ruined almost the setup of what's to come, and I don't see how they can recover from that. Not knowing especially not knowing what part to play Cahir and Fringilla have in the future. If they are going to follow the books at all, these characters have very big parts in the future of the books. And these are characters that will go on and interact with, for example, Geralt. How can we keep this a secret from Geralt if Cahir knows the truth and he goes and interacts with Geralt? Surely he's going to tell him. Surely Geralt is going to find out very quickly. Surely all this stuff is changed. And the room's filled with soldiers. The room's filled with hundreds of people. And he's told all these people, sure, this is going to spread. So I'm really confused when I read Lauren saying, revealing him to the audience, but not our characters. But Lauren, that's not what you did. You did reveal him to your characters. I'm so confused. I'm baffled. I wish you hadn't revealed to the characters. Like, if I hadn't watched the show, if I hadn't watched the episode and I read this, I would be like, brilliant. Good on you, Lauren. That is the perfect approach. You nailed it. But reading this, and knowing what I just watched, I actually watched the final scene of that episode before I recorded this video, just to make sure how many people were there. There's a lot of people in that room. And Fringilla and Cahir, two very important characters. I don't know what Lauren's talking about here. I don't understand. I'm baffled. And can someone in the comments maybe, am I missing something here? Like, what does she mean? Revealing him to the audience, but not. I wish this was true. I want to believe this. So, what, are we just going to ignore this fact? Are we going to ignore the whole plot point? Is Cahir going to go meet Geralt and never bring this up? Is that what's going to happen? Are we just going to pretend that all the Nilfgaardian soldiers in the room never speak a single word because they're so dedicated to Emhyr? I don't know. I'm baffled. I'm honestly baffled. And I don't know what to make of this. Let me know what you're thinking in those comments down below. If you liked the video, leave a like and subscribe if you want more Witcher content. I will probably do some more videos breaking down some of Lauren's other answers to some questions on Twitter in the next coming days.